Hi, I'm Scott Brokaw. I'm a warrior advocate at the law office of William Helixon. Where am I from? I'm from Central Illinois. I grew up and was raised there until about 17 years old and moved to the Houston, Texas area. After high school, I enlisted in the United States Air Force and became a crash rescue firefighter. What were my duties as a crash rescue firefighter? I had to learn to rescue pilots from crashed aircraft, also structural firefighting, and also work on a rescue squad that responded as first responders to medical emergencies. What did I do after college? I enrolled at the Texas Wesleyan University School of Law in Fort Worth, Texas. I took a position with the United States Army, the G5 for Civil Military Affairs at the 3rd Corps Support Command in Wiesbaden, Germany. What were my responsibilities as a G5? I was responsible for deploying with soldiers to foreign nations and negotiating terms of using training grounds and conducting training activities within that foreign nation. What did I do after the 3rd Corps Support Command G5 job? After the G5 Civil Military Affairs position, I took an academic assignment at the George Marshall Center in Garmisch-Partenkirchen, Germany, responsible for organizing multinational security conferences. After my time in academia, I took an assignment at the U.S. Forces Liaison Office in Munich, Germany, responsible for the conditions of the U.S. Army stationed in Bavaria. And afterwards, I transferred to headquarters U.S. Army Europe, at the time in Heidelberg, Germany. At the U.S. Army headquarters, I was responsible for assisting four liaison offices, one in Munich, one in Baden-Württemberg and Stuttgart, one in Wiesbaden and Hessen, and one in Mainz, Rhineland-Pfalz. What were my main duties then? To assist the liaison offices, each liaison office in their mission of interacting with the state-level government regarding the stationing of the U.S. Army in their respective state. What type of understanding of U.S. or German law did I have to do that position? A general understanding was very helpful for my position. Of course, we didn't do anything without consulting with the legal team, but the understanding of both German law in many instances and the U.S. law and also the UCMJ was very helpful. Did I have anything to do with the SOFA agreement? Yes, we did. We live by the SOFA agreement. This is a status of forces agreement that enables the U.S. Army to be present in the foreign nation. What did I do after my time in Germany? The Army asked me to set up the same type of liaison office, what we had in Germany in the 4 states where the U.S. forces are located, in Poznań, Poland. What were my duties when I became the Polish liaison? My duties were to set up and establish the first ever liaison office in the state of Wielkopolski for the U.S. Army stationed in Poland. Part of my responsibilities were also to establish contact and relations with the governors of 5 separate states, 3 additional states during times of major exercises. How did my job as a liaison officer help prepare me to be a warrior advocate? I worked extensively with governments of foreign nations in regards to the presence of the U.S. Army, all for the benefit of the use of the soldier, of the civilians, and the family that supports the U.S. Army. Why did I become a warrior advocate? I wanted to continue doing what I did, but in a different capacity, in a different role. As a warrior advocate, I can take everything that I've learned over the last 23 years working for the U.S. Army as a liaison officer and bring that to the table, bring that to the team of the law office of William Helixon. I bring 23 years of experience working in many different nations where the U.S. Army has had a presence. And I've assisted the Army to create better conditions for those soldiers. I want to continue to do that, but in a different capacity as a warrior advocate. How will I help service members in Germany and Poland? I bring a wealth of experience, 23 years working with the German government, with the Polish government, creating the best possible conditions for the U.S. Army soldier. I will continue to offer that same level of dedication to each and every one of you. Why do I want to help soldiers and civilians in the Army? I've spent my entire career doing exactly that. Now I have the opportunity to bring all of those experiences and skills working with and for the soldier. And it's a chance for me to give something back to the soldiers who have made the sacrifice for their country and their commitment to service.